Hey mamas, happy Wednesday. Hope you all are doing well today. Today we are going to talk about sleep regression, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to get through that sleep regression time frame. And we'll talk a little bit about how you're dealing and how you can do so much better and how you can quickly get through this sleep regression. So for those of you who haven't seen any of my videos yet, I'm Danielle Cotis. I am your new mom coach expert. I coach expectant new moms and toddler moms how to transition smoothly and successfully into motherhood. I help you get in touch with yourself and your baby as best as you can and become the best version of yourself for your baby. So, sleep regression. Oh no, it just makes me crazy thinking about it. You get 4, 6, 9 months sleep regression, 12 or 18 months sleep regression. So that's what, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18. So it's about 5. So, these last two, 12 and 18-month-olds, sometimes you'll skip one, or you won't have one, or sometimes you have both. So it'll depend on your baby. It'll depend on their milestones. But basically what it is you could start out with a baby that's sleeping really well. You can sleep train them. They could be sleeping, 10, 12 hours a night first couple months. And then all of a sudden 4 months hits, and all of a sudden they're up every fucking hour, every hour. They're up every hour, and they're crying, and they want you, and they want to be held, and they're hungry, and they're like, dancing or singing in their sleep. There's a million things that could happen during this 4-month one, and you were like, what the heck is going on? And it's not just one night, it's not just 2 nights, it's like the whole week. And then for some of you, it might be the whole month, and you're like, what the heck is wrong with my kid? Like, she was just sleeping, 10, 12 hours for the first 2 or 3 months, and now all of a sudden they're up at all hours of the freaking night. What the heck is going on? Boom, sleep regression. What the frick? So what they're trying to do is hit a milestone, and that's why they regress. And they decide that they need to grow at night. So instead of sleeping, they have to grow at night and try to hit this milestone. So basically, if you hit that 4-month sleep regression, chances are that your little one is trying to roll over, or is getting used to tummy time or sitting up. Everybody's baby's a little bit different, but 4 months is normally when they roll over. So you want to do the best you can to push that milestone as fast as you can during the day. So whatever milestone, doesn't matter if it's 4, 6, 9 months. Again, those milestones are normally rolling over, sitting up, crawling, walking or standing, or doing where they go across, I think it's called cruising, where they go across the couches, or all what are causes of the sleep regression. Also, some of them, if they're growing, if they are getting taller, sometimes that also causes growing pains. So keep that in mind also, that could intertwine with any of those sleep regressions. So wherever you are with your baby and your sleep regression, you want to make sure that they're very active during the day as much as possible, and you're really working on them hitting that milestone. So if you're talking about rolling over, you want to help them roll over, teach them, practice as much as possible rolling over. If they're sitting up, again, you want to practice as much during the day to make sure that they can sit up. So if that means you just sit them up and teeter-tot with them to make sure that they're going to sit up, or you put them in a boppy chair or whatever it is, push that milestone. The crawling, again, you want to get them on their knees, help them rock back and forth, teach them how to move their arms, move their legs, as much as you can to get them to that point where they're going to hit that milestone. It'll be better for you. Same thing with the walking. I know I hated it when I had to hold his hands and walk him all over the place. My back was killing me. But that really helped him walk, by a push cart, one of those things that they could walk with so that they can hit that milestone. Same thing, I had a call the other day, and her son was, wants to jump on things or climb, help them learn how to climb, do your best to teach them how to jump or get from one thing to the other. Whatever it is, you have to figure out what the milestone is first and then push that milestone during the day as much as you can. I mean, don't drive yourself crazy, but you definitely want to figure out what's causing that so that you can do that moving forward with all the regressions, so that each time it comes, you're prepared and you're working on that milestone during the day. Now, the sleep regression, again, it can last a couple days or it can last a couple weeks. So you want to make sure that you are definitely pushing the milestone. Now, at night, to help them sleep longer, it's really all about hitting that milestone and consistency at bedtime. You don't necessarily have to do, bath, book, sing and sleep. You can do whatever you want. You just have to make sure that it's consistent. And if you had a consistent bedtime, let's say at 6:30 or 7:30, as they get older, you may notice that they may need their bedtime pushed back a little bit. So that's up to you. If you can, push it to, if it was at 7:30, push it to 8, or if it was at 6:30, push it to 7. As they get a little bit older, some of them want to go to sleep just a little bit later. It's not that much later, but that may be one of the things that you want to see if that's what's causing them to not fall asleep right away, or, screaming before they fall asleep. It's one thing if they wake up in the middle of the night and they're crying, and it's another thing if they are struggling to fall asleep. That could just be a consistency thing, and you're gonna have to do some sort of sleep training. I'll give you a quick story. My son didn't do well with sleep training, and we really didn't do specific, like, cried out. I mean, I tried all the methods and nothing worked. So you really want to come up with something that works best for you and your kid. So the crying out, some people don't want to hear their kid crying for hours on end. I couldn't handle it. It was too much. Sometimes I went in and then I came out and then I went back in and then came back out. So mine was really difficult, and I really wanted him to go to bed 7, and I was adamant about 7, and he would sit there and cry there for an hour and a half. So between me going in and out, and that wasn't working. So I tried that for about a week and I gave up. And then I pushed it to 8, and the kid went to sleep, no freaking problem. So you have to try to figure out what's going to work best for your baby. One of the tips I gave the girl that I was on the phone with on Friday was that you want to try to read as much as you can about all the different sleep trainings, and oh my God, yay! So Ashley says that our son slept 2 nights in a row, last 2 nights, and she pushed his bedtime later. Let me see if I can click on this. I can't click on it. And he used the lavender like we talked about. That's great, Ashley. I'm so glad he slept. Yay! So Ashley was one of the clients I was talking to on the phone on Friday, and so all these tips and tricks work for her, and I'm so happy. That's awesome, Ash. So, you want to get as much information about the sleep training as you can, and be as consistent as you can. So one of the techniques that we used was, I think it's called The Happiest Sleeper. It's a book called The Happiest Sleeper. And it's all about, did the extinction method last night. He cried and eventually realized he needed to sleep. Oh, that's great. That's great. Awesome. So you want to make sure that you're going in a little bit at a time, and you're, basically doing the same thing over and over again, whether it's patting their butt or rubbing their back, or singing to them. And you want to go in, about every couple of minutes. And before you leave the room, you want to say some sort of mantra, like, thank you, I love you thank you for falling asleep, I love you, I'll be back in a couple of minutes to check on you. And then you leave the room, and then you go in a couple of minutes and rub their back or tap their butt. And one of the tricks that I used was I tried to go in before they started crying, before Kiri started crying, or before he started climbing out of the bed, or before he started freaking out, whatever it was. I tried to go in a little bit beforehand so that I was already prepared and he was prepared to find me, and I was able to diffuse the situation before it worsened. So that's one thing that you definitely want to do, is be as consistently as humanly possible with your baby. And then another tip that we talked about was diffusing lavender essential oil, either putting it in a diffuser or putting it diluted on the bottom of their feet. which will help them remain a little bit more calm than usual. Also, during sleep regressions, keep in mind that you may think that they last longer than they are. So maybe the sleep regression only lasts 2 weeks, but you feel like that it's been going on for 4 weeks. It could be that they are teething. So if the sleep regression lasts more than like a week or 2, you definitely want to check to see if they have any teeth coming in. You know, put your finger in their mouth and see if something's tender or it's a little bit swollen. Because what I thought was a sleep regression, after a couple 2 weeks, hold on one second, I do the feet, back, ears, very good. The feet, the back, the ears, and the heart area for the lavender, perfect, that works great, Ashley, awesome job, awesome. So that you want to make sure that you're doing it, that you can also dilute the lavender and fractured coconut oil and put it on their gums. That will help soothe the pain. A lot of people are having trouble, with the I can't even talk, the teething rings, and they're not working for their babies, and also sometimes the Orajel doesn't work. So definitely try the lavender. It helps soothe them, calm, and takes down a little bit of the swelling and the pain. So that's great for teething and for the regression. The regression helps them to, it'll help them remain calm so they're not like totally bugging out at bedtime. And during the night, if you diffuse it, it will help them remain calm throughout the night. Now, I'm not saying that they're not ever going to get up, but it will help it be a little bit better for the both of you. Okay, next tip. If you have a partner or husband that lives with you, during the sleep regression, if you already don't have a sleep shift schedule, this is definitely the time that you want to start one. A sleep-deprived mom is not a happy mom, okay, and it causes all kinds of other problems. So if you can get your partner on board, especially during this time, I know there's a lot of stay-at-home moms. I know there's a lot of you that, feel like you should be up all night because your husbands are going to work, your partners are going to work. I totally understand that. I've been in that position. But during the sleep regression time, you got to get your partner on board as best as you can, because you need sleep and he needs sleep. So you got to alternate nights if you can, or alternate times of getting up. I found that it was best to alternate nights altogether so that one person got enough sleep and the other person got enough sleep at least one night every other night. So try that. That should really work to the best of your ability. So that's it for sleep regression for right now. So definitely have them hit the milestones. Make sure that you're staying consistent with bedtime, even in the middle of the night. And if they need bottles, give them to them. If they need to eat, that's okay. It's not going to be forever. So if you cut out that nighttime feeding and then nighttime nursing, that's all right. During the sleep regression, sometimes they need that bottle, or they need the boob. They just need it. It's okay to give it to them because they're growing. And consistent with bedtime, definitely want some essential oils. Use the lavender with fractured coconut. And you want to make sure that your partner is on board with some sort of sleep shift schedule. So hopefully you'll be able to get through all these milestones, no problem. Moving forward, just know that it's part of motherhood. This is what happens, and your baby will sleep again. I promise you will get through this. And a mantra I just kept telling myself was, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. With everything in motherhood, something new comes along and something old is out. So what seems like forever during this point in time, is not forever. So thank you all so much for being on the line with me. If this is your first time watching, hey everybody on the replay, love you guys. If you don't already like my fan page, The Unfamiliar Mom, please like it so you can see more coaching videos for free up there. And if you need some more support postpartum or prenatal, whatever you need, I'm here for you. I'm here to talk to you, to listen to you, and to offer advice and support in areas that you may not get at home by yourself. So please reach out to me if you want to book a call. Click at the top of the fan page, book a call. If you feel more comfortable private messaging me or DM me on Instagram, The Unfamiliar Mom, I'm happy to talk to you before we get on the phone too. So I will see you guys all at the next video, and have a great night. Thank you all so much.